Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, episode 3 of this 1.2 pre-release. And what am I doing, you may ask? Well, I'm travelling out to this little block in the distance, all the way from the Kerbal Space Center over here. And you can see, while we're travelling, this little rover I've been using to science spam. If I just right-click on here, you've got 33 experiments. Hopefully I don't destroy myself on the way out. I have already tipped this thing over, doing the Top Gear Robin Reliant thing, trying to turn it too fast, because it's just going to tip over. These are the only part combinations that really work with this thing. We got the jet engine intake and exhaust. For some reason, I can send a jet engine exhaust through this experiment container, and all the experiments are fine. There's no issue. And how they route the air through, yeah, let's not get into it. But for each biome, is this a separate? No, this is still Kerbal Space Center. For each biome, I'm able to get the Science Junior, one bio canister or goo canister, whatever you want to call them, temperature, crew report, and an EVA report in each biome. So that's 5 per biome. I know 33 doesn't match up. That's because I've already been out here once, and things fell apart a little bit on the way out. Well, let's just say I went a little bit too fast. Saw a ramp going down ahead of me and thought, this'll be fine. At which point I did my best Burt Reynolds impression, yelled yeehaw, and nosedive into the ground. It just destroyed the intake though, which is actually a pretty good result. I didn't actually destroy anything else. So yeah, I just thought I'd come out here because we need to do that at least once and take a look at this. Yes. I assume most of you have seen this before, but for those of you who haven't, there is a huge obelisk out here. Yes, it wasn't discovered under the lunar surface, and we're not out near Jupiter, but yeah, similar to 2001 Space Odyssey. And what's that on it, I wonder? Oh, it's the squad logo. Bit of self-promotion there, guys. Yeah, thanks for that. Did you even put a separate biome near it? You know, that would have been nice. Reward for getting out here? Yes? No? Let's see. No, there isn't. Thanks, squad. But hey, well, at least we've got the logo. So we can recover the vessel. And what did that get us? Well, we should be getting quite a lot. Yep, there we go. We're up to 199 sites, 105 from this time, and about another 50 odd previously, so 150 sites to be had just by driving around the Kerbal Space Center. So that is the launch pad. That's one. The crawl away. Most people forget that. That's number 2. The tracking station, the vehicle assembly building, spaceplane hangar, mission control. Ignore the flagpole and the astronaut complex. I think that's all KSC for some reason in this pre-release. The administration building is another one. Research and development, the runway itself, and this area, if you haven't done it in anywhere else, is the Kerbal Space Center. So out here will do just as easily as it will in here, or as it turns out, right next to the obelisk. So we've got 199 science. What can we actually use it for? Yeah, getting heavy rocketry maybe. Poodles, skippers, and the kickback solid fuel booster maybe. Sparks is a nice stage for well, yeah, it's a very small engine. 0.1 tons. What's our current Terrier? 0.5 tons. So yes, it's a very small engine indeed. Fuel systems, which is always worthwhile. Yeah, I'm going to take that one because that's always. I may not need these bigger engines just yet, but having external fuel ducts will help expire the stage. And let's just see aerodynamics. I don't really like planes that much, has to be said. And I don't need the larger heat shields yet, but the more science would be good. The barometer. I don't need any of that stuff yet. The battery pack. Solar panels. That will be useful, but let's get more science to enable us to get more solar panels. We just have to get more science out of it first. And I don't really want to go around the entire space center using the barometer. I guess I should, but Okay, I'm going to be right back. So I totally didn't go and drive around there and head out there with the barometer and just take lots of science. I did a couple more sciencey things in the background. We got up to 95, and that will let me get another one of these, which will be very handy for later, which is going to be the solar panels and the probe. I'm not going to need it immediately, mind you, as I did find that we got the Explore the Moon mission, which is just pass by the moon. No need to land on it, which is good because I don't want to land on it yet, and I don't have many of the stuff I need to land on it. The moon's actually harder than Minmus by far. So we can accept that. And was there something else that I could accept in here? Yeah, here we go. There's another one for testing the heat shield again. This time, however, the speed's a lot slower, but it's around about the same height, so this may be quite likely on the way up. So I'll take that as well. I am going to, however, upgrade the tracking station, I think. Whoops. Oops, if I don't click it with the wrong thing. 150,000. Yeah, we can afford that. And I'm going to upgrade the launch pad, I think, so that I can take more weight. Bear in mind, if you're going to drive around with a rover, you might want to do it before you upgrade the launch pad, because now there's a large ramp and a section of concrete on there that you may not be able to get onto easily or off again. So if you do upgrade it first, then maybe you should do the launch pad last. In the vehicle assembly building then, I'm going to try something like this. What I don't know is, just without, I'm not going to do the separate maths, I normally would use KERBAL Engineer, just how good these are. So I thought I'd give this a try. The rest is fairly straightforward. We've got all our regular sciencey stuff on here. No solar panels, obviously, at the moment. I just want to see what this is like. So this is going to be a quick, let's call it a simulation. I'm not sure whether you'd count it as such. This could get exploded. Oh, and I didn't put struts in place because I had a part limit problem, and this is exactly 30 parts, the maximum that building can support. I decided not to upgrade that building just yet. I just wanted to give this a try. So let's see how well this goes. Not well at all, it seems. Yeah. Why is that? Well, I had actually reduced the thrust on these to 30%. I wanted to see how long I could make them last, and if I can get them to take off, etc. Let's give them a try at 60. Let's see if that gets us off the ground. And physics has stabilized. It does get us off the ground, but not very much. So maybe it is actually going to have to be full thrust. Fine. Let's do that. You'll notice I'm not firing that center engine. The alternative here is I could put like another column here like this, and then just put a few lines across. I'm just going to see if I can get off with boosters before I do that. So, you know, it was a worthwhile the simulation time, and we'll see how this goes. Will I get off the ground? Now. I will, and that's actually maybe a little bit faster than I would probably want. But yeah, in fact that is quite fast by comparison. And my center engine isn't firing, which means I don't have any gimbaling control. Right, we're going to fire the center engine then, because then I want the ability to steer in some kind of way. Although I could reduce its the amount that it actually uses, and then as soon as these runs out, which is shortly, we could separate. They explode, but they explode a lot further away, and I don't have to worry about it too much. While I then move this. Let's see how far up those boosters have gotten us. It's quite a high pitch. It's not exactly the way I probably want to go. We want to go over this way quite a bit more. We are in the upper atmosphere now though, so I'm not doing this particularly efficiently, am I? But 55, 56. Switching over to orbit comparisons for speed. We want to get above 70 odd, so 72 would be ideal. 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. And this is going to be quite slow. I've only got the actual the gyros and the attitude control of the capsule. That should be enough. What I don't, however, know is if there's enough fuel to inject us to the moon after getting to an orbit. So this is a trial in more ways than one. But we do want to circularize first. Let's start firing. See how far this gets us. This engine is of course quite good amount of thrust. We actually want to sort of be heading this way, so we're definitely in a good position to do this quite quickly, in fact. Actually, being further out and seeing that loop is actually quite nice. Yeah. Yeah, this stage is definitely going to run out soon. But it's going to get us most of the way, if not the circular. And there goes the stage. So let's get rid of it. And fire the next one. I'm a bit doubtful because I've got the materials bay on here. And what I may well need is actually 2 lots of those boosters, or some more liquid fuel, which is possible as well. This is going to circularize now. As this comes around, we can shut off the... There we go. And let's see how far we are away from our moon. What we ideally want is a free return, so we want to swing around the moon and be coming back into the atmosphere if possible, because we don't really have a huge amount of fuel. You know, 3/4 there. It will take a little bit, quite a bit to actually get to this. Right, do I have any maneuvers? I don't. I would have to upgrade some stuff. I wonder if we can go... if I go back to the Space Center, I can't revert the flight. So, well, let's see if we can do this manually. That'll be an interesting one. So we want to point prograde. And we want to wait till the moon just gets over the horizon, ideally. And there it is. So if we start firing, I'm not exactly the same inclination, but let's see how far this goes. You'll see here on the map view this green line. That's the connection back, the communication line back. And of course I'm going to go out from that, but because I'm manned, it doesn't matter that much. If this were a probe, on the other hand, it would actually matter a great deal more. So that's extending outwards now. I'm going down to half fuel. Let's just put this up here so I can see it. And let's see if we get an intercept with the moon. Extending upwards. Extending upwards. And we've got an intercept. So what we want to do then is focus on the moon itself and decide, unfortunately without the maneuver nodes, and this is going to be a bit of trial and error, but decide just how, see how what's going to happen is, this is our current path. Patch Connect then shows us what our path will be when the moon gets all the way around to here, so it's going to go by the moon on this side, and then we're going to come out of it on the other side and come back around this loop. So just bear in mind that what we do right now is all well and good. It just means that when we come back around, we're going to be 2.5 million meters from Kerbin. So we can either try and correct it now, or we can correct it later. Which way is this going? Yeah, so this gets us close, but then we may have to make a correction on the way back. That's 300 and 133. Whoops. Okay, so all the way down to 46, and that would that would escape. Okay, let's see if we can do this and still get back, because that lets us get quite a few different things, because we can get far away from the moon and close to the moon from that thing. So we can shut down the SAS for a second there now. We're going to have no control over this at all, really. We're just going to need to warp to right somewhere on this line. If it will let me warp to it, it may not do. Okay, let me just manually warp up then. There we go. And this is the point at which you have a probe. You'll see that the planet's rotating, so we're okay when we head quite high like this. But the planet's rotating faster than we are now, and as such, we'll lose signal. And once we... yeah, there we go. We've just changed sphere of influences. So if we then come into here, let's see what we can actually do. The pressure, I'm not sure where I put pressure on here, but oh, well, yeah, that amount of science, I think I'll take it. High above the moon, so that will do just fine. Same thing with the temperature, another 16, and the crew report. We'll keep that. I should have upgraded the... I wonder if I go back to this... no, I'm not going back to the Space Center. I should have changed it earlier, and that's my own fault. And let's take a bio sample. Another 20 science. And then we're just going to collect everything. There we go. This is much easier than the whole EVA and then ferreting around your spacecraft in space, trying to actually do all this stuff. We only get one chance at doing the materials bay, however, because... Jebediah is not a scientist, so he can't reset it. That said, we get 50 science from it, and we can close the doors again, and then we can collect. So that's nice. What we want to then do is get closer to the moon, and if we just go... I can't warp to. I need the maneuver node system to do that. So let's get closer. There we go. And we should be able to do the same thing. We should get close, or have the close to the moon stuff now. Low pressure data. It still says high above the moon. Is it really high? Yeah, I may not have got low enough space high above the moon. Never mind. We will definitely get low when we get the rest, unless this drops down enough. I don't think it will. What's our closest approach? 46? Yeah. Let's see how close we get. Are we now low enough? I wonder. Yes, near the moon, so quickly try and get everything, get all the things, crew reports, and temperature, and I've run out of stuff, I think. Yes. We're going to collect all that as well. So 9 experiments so far. Very nicely done. And now we're going to fly out and off into this solar system. So what we want to do is bring that back in as much as we can. We can make changes right here, but let's see. That's normally what I would do if I was going into orbit around the moon. Yeah, and you see this red line, hopefully you can see that on YouTube, between our capsule and Kerbin, because we're too far away. We're about to change sphere of influence back, though. Hopefully. Oh no, wait, it's because I'm on an escape trajectory. Fine. Let me just reorient myself. Where is Kerbin? Let's just put this up, and I think it's... Is it this way? We'll soon see when I get this wrong. It is looping back in now. There we go. So do I now have enough fuel to get back in? The periapse is there, so strictly speaking, I should wait till I'm all the way out there before I make any changes. That will be the most fuel efficient because I don't have all that much to do. So we are going to head out past Minmus, it seems. And I'm still focusing on this, aren't I? I want to focus back on my vessel. And is it tab? No, can never remember what focus on the current vessel is. That is annoying. Ah, there we go. Yeah. Fine, let's just head all the way out. Point retrograde. And hope we have enough fuel. We may not do. Let's give that a go. 9,876,5432. Okay, so maybe we do have enough fuel. Oops. Okay, and I actually probably want to focus on Kerbin, or at least go have a look over there. Because we are going to get... Yeah, we're going to fly past Kerbin Periapsis. Let's just go to minute amounts to 1.8, 1.7. We can do another adjustment halfway around the way in. That'll make it easier, but we should have plenty of fuel here. 900, 800. It's going to be quite hard to adjust. I may have to turn the engine down so that I can get better increments here. What I actually want is something like that. Maybe a bit higher. But we certainly have enough fuel to change that on the way in. So now if we just head back in again. This is where I have to be a bit careful because we're going to accelerate as we head back in. Hopefully. So I have to make sure to change. Yeah, you see how steep this is? The further towards we get here, the faster we're going to be coming in. So this is where we see how good that heat shield is, or how not good that heat shield is, depending on what you think. And we have communications again. And this usually changes on the way in, but because I didn't really use the SAS system, that's fairly decent. What will generally happen if you're too high here? For example, I could push this up a little bit if I just change to point here. If I just increase this a tad. Okay, so what may happen here at 28 is it may end up going for another loop. It may end up not bringing it quite down far enough to get me back into the planet, but it will at least bring me into, because of, you know, it's in the atmosphere, it will bring me in after multiple orbits, and that's often an easier way to get down. I'm just going to bring it down to 27 something, maybe 26, and we'll see how this goes. Which means we're coming in, we're going to be coming in quite hot, and we should probably get rid of the burning kind of stuff. Fuel. engines, all that kind of stuff. So let's get a little bit closer. Thankfully, we're coming in sort of towards the day side, although we might sweep across the Terminator into nighttime, which is never ideal. Particularly as I don't have any mods, so I can't really do... I think Planet Shine might be updated, but I think there's like the ambient light mod, which would actually be much nicer. There we go, so... you can just get rid of that now, I think. Goodbye. Nice knowing you, engine. And yes, I did remember to put a heat shield on. Hopefully it's not like an early heat shield on Earth, where they were made from cork at first. Because we're coming in at 3,000 meters per second. One thing you see on the heat shield, by the way, is the ablator. And again, this... on a quick re-entry, you won't tend to go down that much, but on a long re-entry where you're using it to absorb a huge amount of compression in front of you, and the heat from that, yes, it can get quite low. So we're going to see how badly this thing is designed very, very shortly. Because we're now to 3,200 meters per second. But we are going to hit the higher atmosphere, so let's just face it towards surface retrograde, turn off SAS, and hope. I do actually have 2 drogue chutes on there and the bottom, and we have the main parachute as well, although none of those are really all that useful until much further down. You'll see this is heating. We can try spinning it, I guess. Oh no, it's the actual heat shield that's heating. Okay, that's good in one way. Not good if that gets further up. You'll see the ablator is dropping down here. And that mission we got, I forgot to do it on the way up. And oh, whoa, that's not good. Something exploded. That was the biosample. Thankfully, we don't need them. They're not they're not essential. You don't want to lose them on the way down, mind you, but they're not actually essential. So even that tiny amount, because we're coming in so fast, was enough to overheat the goo containers, and our engines just explode somewhere over there. So it still looks like we're okay. We're coming in at 28 now. If we go back to map view, you'll see we've already dropped inside the planet, so we're definitely coming down this time. Intact or not is yet to be seen. And it looks sort of okay. We've lost the heat bar, which is a good sign. And the surface speed is 1500. We're far too low for our mission, however. But that's okay, we got fly by the moon. Someone please tell me how that's supposed to be pronounced, because sometimes it has a double dot above the U, making me think it should be moon, i.e. it's just a play on words with our pronunciation, and sometimes just mun, so either one. And there we go. We've slowed down enough, we're at 800 meters per second, the fire has gone away, we can pull the drogue chutes. They're going to slow us even further. And then we can then pull the main chute. At this point you can actually cut the drogue chutes, but they do actually slow things down quite a bit. What you can also do is then just jettison the heat shield. You can just jettison the heat shield and everything's fine. That gets rid of some weight and makes it easier for us to actually come down. Obviously these aren't all open yet. The drogues are actually going to open fully first, and then the main one will open shortly thereafter, so we can turn off the SAS and just increase physics time warp at this point. Squad long ago fixed the problems that you get with these not opening too well when you are trying to physics time warp them. So coming in now, one set has opened, and as we get to 500 the other set will open. We're already at 24 however, so this should deal with this quite nicely. I really want to get AVA for the next fly through. There's the second parachute opening and we're down to below 6, so this is nice and safe. And we're going to land, well, splash somewhere off. Oh, we're not that far away from the KSC. If yeah, I suppose I could have let this go before pulling the parachutes, and we'd probably hit that mountain. This kind of thing happens to me. I've been known to hit those mountains before. So let's just take a nice soft splashdown. And there we go. And I suppose we could do a crew report from here, but I think we've already got everything. No, we'll take the temperature and the barometer, because this is probably oceans. And collect all. I guess I can EVA. EVA report. Don't get anything for that, unfortunately, so never mind. And did I do a crew report? Yeah, I did. Okay, recruit vessel. Let's see what we got for all of that. Our moon flyby episode. Oh, 245 science. Oh, I think so. 268 total. We're going to be getting lots of stuff with that, I think. We recovered nearly 6,000 funds. That's very nice as well. The only thing would be really lost that we could have retained with a lot more parachutes and stuff was like the materials bay. And Jeb is feeling pretty confident. So I hope you like that episode. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these. Obviously, if you don't want to see more and you like this episode, just hit like, maybe, or share, of course. And you can follow me on Twitter at Greyduster. I've got a few other things on the channel as well. You see first looks this week of the Divinity Original Sin number 2, as well as the other normal things on the channel. So give those a look. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we'll see you next episode, where we might have to land on something like Minmus or maybe even the moon. Thanks for watching.